We're here with, what's your name?
I'm John.
John. And John's 15, and yeah, tell us what you just said, John.
Well, I was just saying that, well, now that the Conservatives and the Lib Dems formed a coalition, that's the 35% Conservative supporters and the 26% Lib Dem supporters. They're now all angry because they haven't got what they wanted. They've both had to compromise.
Right.
So, that never ends well. All the Labour supporters are irritated. Everybody else, only the Green Party have really done well, and that's one seat, 285,000 votes for one seat. It's outrageous, and no one's got what they want. It's just that the politicians can settle down again, and live it up.
Right.
It's a joke.
And as a young person, where do you see us going as a human race, as a society, as a country, as individuals? Where do you see this going?
Well, I have no idea, because Gordon Brown's accumulated a whole load of debt over the last 13 years, and before that, debt was accumulating. And America has a greater debt, but America has an industry, and we really, apart from, Britain has fuck all to sell. We have no major industries, we have no huge companies.
How do you know all this? How do you know this? Because when I was 15, I didn't have a clue about any of this. How do you know all this?
I don't know, people at school talk about it, you hear people, you read the papers, you pick up a bit.
Right, great. What school do you go to?
I go to Westimnster.
Westminster, okay, and Westminster, of course, is the school that probably produces some of the very politicians that we have here today.
Yeah, they're a bunch of dickheads. A lot of them back there.
The people who are inside?
And the people in there.
Right, in the school. Tell me something. It's my hunch that what's happening on a kind of spiritual level here, and excuse me for using that word, just bear with me for a moment, or perhaps, if use a different word, perhaps on an emotional, spiritual, psychological level, is that so many of the people that end up in this building have actually, in reality, behind the scenes, had a really traumatic time in school, where there is so much bullying and it sort of takes the heart out of some of them, and that they haven't dealt with that and the pain, because I know from my own experience in school, that most people were either bullies or they were bullied, and if you were either bullies or bullied, either way, that's kind of really traumatic and difficult to deal with. Do you see something like that here?
I think they're the bullies. I really do. I think you individually, I'm not interested really in their emotions. I'm not interested in their lives. I'm interested in their output as politicians, as people running the country. And they're not doing their jobs well.
Right.
And I spent a lot of time thinking about what I felt about Britain and about sort of the way it was run. And I realised after a while I just felt ashamed. And that's my main emotion. And I think they should all be ashamed too.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're here at Parliament Square with, what's your name?
I'm Sam.
Sam. And Sam, you go to Westminster School, am I right?
I do, yeah.
Excellent, which is a place that's produced some politicians, right?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. So Sam, I'm just going to ask you a general question, and it's an open question, and I want to know what you think. What's really going on?
What in Parliament? I think nothing. I think it's just a lot of parties who are kind of really stand for the same thing, and they don't really want anything different because they benefit from what's going on at the moment. And maybe one of them wants to raise a tax by so and so amount, or so and so decrease it. But really, I just think they're all kind of the same thing. I don't think anything's going on in there. I think every time a party switches, one person benefits and another, suffers. And I think it's pointless. I just think there's something needs to happen, really.
Right. Do you think that it's possible that the leaders of all the political parties might fail a mental health assessment?
I think it's very likely.
Yeah.
I think it's very likely.
And do you think that perhaps it might be worth starting a campaign that anybody who is leading the country is assessed on a yearly basis by independent mental health experts?
I think that's probably the best way to do it, yeah.
Yeah. Great. Thank you very much.